There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
We've been fighting a long time, and we've all lost so very much, so many loved ones gone. You are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. Where are you going? Above all, stay alive. You have no idea how important you are. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Welcome back to the broadcast.
Who the hell do you think you are?
My name is Max Palace. Give it up for me, goddammit. It's cold, and I've got shrinkage, but I'm not alone. No, I've got my favorite two nuts with me.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That guy is the BBR Bagman. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, my frosty friend.
I am Frosty the Snowman. Oh, God, it's too cold to even get an opening line. I've done this 3 times in a row, but I'm not going to stop this time because we have the Preacher Man with us as well. Yes!
Hey.
Hopefully my yammering mouth will warm up due to friction. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I need a cookie. Yum.
Holy smoke. So, lots going on this week. Where do we want to start? Do we want to talk about the stuff at Chacho? Do we want to dig into one of our other topics? What's most exciting right now?
Let's talk about that freezing temperature and that shrinkage, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do the SHOT Show stuff. We had a lot of intel in the network here. A lot of pictures, a lot of recon. Great recon going on from the field. We've got eyes out there everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm going to be doing that stupid impression all night. I can feel it now. I can feel it. I'm sorry.
So, our member James was posting pictures of cool cartel guns, which I think are fantastic, right? Gold-plated, filigree, inlay, engraved, gorgeous.
I love them.
Wonderful. Yeah. Max hates cartel guns.
I think it's goofy as hell. It's too DLC, video game aesthetic, and that's coming from a guy that has an Xbox. But hey, man, to each his own.
But Army of Two was one of my favorite games, and when you got to pimp your guns for more aggro.
And it's got real-life applications. You want to talk about skins on guns? Let's talk about the multicolored guns they're printing in Myanmar.
All right, what is gold, shiny, reflective? What is that? What stat does that boost in the real world?
Warlord. The Warlord stat.
But intimidation factor.
Ain't nobody scared of no dude with no gold gun.
Sex appeal.
Says the guy with the curly mustache.
Worst accent.
Yes.
Nah. No.
Don't mess with me. I'll do it again.
You can't sell me on the concept that having a gold-plated gun is cool. I'm not going to buy into that one. I'm sorry. That's one trope I won't subscribe to.
That's fine. But there are a lot of them at SHOT Show this year. Who's making the FNFALs that look so good in like the high polished black with the gold trim?
Who it came from.
Oh my God, I was loving those. And every time I see them pop up, I'm like, yes, it looks so good.
I know the Gold Barrett came from Fostech because they're pimping out their drum mag.
Okay.
For the 50 cal. I'm not sure who had the gold-plated AR and pistol in the case.
So, just for clarification, it really is like real gold that they were painting or like powder coating? What is the process for this?
Electroplating.
Okay. And
if it's going to be 24, if it's like 24 karat, I believe it's an electroplating bath.
Does that add like a considerable amount of weight to it?
No.
Okay.
If anything, and if they're doing the insides, it adds a little bit of lubricity to it.
A little bit of what?
I don't think they're doing the insides, but it does add some considerable weight to the price tag.
No. I need that. I need that word he said. Lubricity, sir.
Yes.
That makes it smooth. For the people in the back. Okay. Lubricity. That's the word of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Lubricity. It's an adjective, I guess, technically. Sure. Play the Diddy editions, ladies and gentlemen, coming to a SHOT Show near you. Get slick with it. Okay, so for the most part, it's usually just the outside that gets plated, not the inside.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
doing that. That would be a complete waste.
Okay, so we're not talking like.
And there are better coatings for that.
Yeah.
Okay, you did say 24 karat gold Barrett, though.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Straight out
coming
of Army
from
of Two.
Yeah, that's coming from Fostech, and it looks sweet.
What's amazing is that's already a $12,000 gun to $14,000, depending on,
Add $2,000 for the drum mag. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just pulling a number
I have
out
no
my
idea.
ass.
But there's so much. Yeah, there's. First of all, that's it's a heavy gun. Like it's a big friggin' rifle.
You're so big.
40 pounds, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It's massive, and to have to put that much work onto it, that's a big job. It's going to be a lot of money.
I believe it was engraved too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Is that a way of like locking in value for the resale market by like plating your shit?
I don't know. I don't think it matters, because I think if you're doing that, you're probably not selling it. You're probably waiting to be deposed by the U.S. government and have that shit stolen by some Marine who doesn't even understand what he's got.
Okay.
yeah, sounds about par for the course.
Now, there's no federal laws against the actual possession of a gold-plated gun, correct?
No,
Okay. You never know.
no. I was making a Saddam Hussein reference.
Oh. Oh, he had some? I mean, I know you always refer to them as cartel guns.
The Republican Guard all had, I believe,
Gold-plated AKs.
were they gold or were they silver?
I believe they were gold.
Okay,
Pictures I saw were gold, if I remember right.
there you go.
Yeah.
What kind of breakdown are we talking here? Like, how many gold bars to do like a standard size AR?
None.
No.
It's really when it's electroplated, it's only a couple grams that's dissolved in. I don't know what kind of bath. I don't know what the solvent is, but it's dissolved in a solvent, and then you drop the parts in, and then you run electrical current through, and then the gold particles will adhere to the bare metal.
Okay. This may be a little TMI. So usually when you bake with marijuana, it takes like twice the amount than just rolling a joint. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about it as. Like, does it take like a ridiculous amount of gold
No.
to just do the gun? Okay. So it's not like
No.
a waste kind of thing.
Yeah, no, and you're starting off with something that's less than paper thin. Like it's super thin.
Microns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
Think about all the cheap 24 karat gold watches that are out there, right?
Okay.
Not that expensive to get a 24 karat gold watch. Same concept. It's so thin. It's negligible about how much. Now, the amount that's going to be sitting on a Barrett is going to be significantly more than a gold watch, right? But even so, it's not a massive amount.
With the process, is it just the upper lower barrel that gets dumped in there, and then all the little tiny intricate stuff gets added after the fact, or are we dunking a complete rifle inside?
It's probably
it's
all done in
piece.
pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all done in pieces and then assembled very carefully.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, to each his own. You know, there's a pot for every lid out in the gun market, if that's your thing. I won't shame you for
All right.
it.
So the other thing I saw that I got pretty excited about is Century is adding to their AP5 line, and they've got several other MP5 clones, including an SD, which is the integrally suppressed hot sex.
MP5 is John McClane.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, the little short one. The one that was
Yeah, I
on
think we
the
have Kruger,
Nakatomi
but, you know.
Tower at Range Day 2 years ago. That one, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. How?
It's just one of those. It's one of those guns that any kid from the 80s and early 90s is going to instantly recognize, and you want one.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And really, that's that's the reason for the price of them, honestly.
Absolutely, because it's a sheet metal receiver that's been stamped and folded
And some welds
and
thrown on
some
the.
welds, and it's oh god, that thing came out what, late 60s, if not
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
Like it's an old design. It's been around a long time. The tooling, the original tooling has been bought and sold several times already to various countries. It's not new. It's not innovative by any stretch, but there is something very appealing about a good roller delayed
Mhm.
clone.
Well, I mean the FNFAL, right? It's the
Mhm.
same. It's basically the same damn gun, just bigger.
No, no, the
Or is
FAL.
that the SETME? The SETME is
You're thinking of the
the.
SETME.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. Okay.
yeah,
What
the SETME, the G3. Those
Hmm.
are roller delays.
what makes this one different or more unique? Because if everybody's making the same gun and you're calling them clones, I would assume that somebody's trying to reinvent the wheel slightly different. So it's like, yeah, ours
No,
cooks. No, nobody's like
no,
cooks
Nope.
pancakes as
nope,
opposed to no. Oh,
nope. It is the same. I mean, it's a clone.
okay.
It is pretty much a one for one. Yeah, there's some body kits that you can get, right? I think B&T makes some body kits for them, and there's some other does Midwest Industries make one? I think so. Like where you can throw some M-lock and a Picatinny rail on top of it. But yeah, they're basically the same as the original.
So we're looking something along these lines is the SD Max. I'm doing a screen share right now for
Yep.
the listeners at home, right?
So
So
nice.
different handguard, integrated suppressor, and again, I'm sure that's going to be a modular system for an add-on can,
Mhm.
just because of the way.
They work here. But yeah, getting back to it, it's basically the same gun. You know,
Okay.
it's a nostalgia driven market, to be perfectly honest.
So these manufacturers aren't trying to do X thing better than the next guy. They're just making one for you to have our brand on it.
Yep. No, they're making it affordable,
Okay.
and at $1,000, it's compared to a proper HK, it is 5 times cheaper.
Would the goal be like to make the most affordable that still functions? That's like
Yeah,
we're not trying to
that's kind of
reinvent this
the
thing. It's just
that's kind of the fight right now, right? It's the fight between Century Arms, between is it TSOS or is it Mac? I mean, they're all between the Turkish clones, right? I think there's a third company out there making MP5 clones.
who was the first one? Like who was the originator of the design?
HK. Like you can buy 22 clones from H&K for, you know, $500 or so.
Standard ammo for them is 9mm though, right? That's what
Yeah,
they're usually doing.
yeah. Once you're talking 9mm, it goes up significantly. Yeah, here's a 1989 Heckler and Koch, or Coke, whatever. 9mm SP89 for $3,925, and that's the current bid.
Yeah,
So
but that's probably the modern SP89. If you're looking up genuine MP5s,
no,
you're in.
it's a 1989.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but look up an actual MP5, not just the SP89, because that was their civilian version that doesn't carry the weight of an MP5 price wise. You find a transferable MP5, and the price is
Oh my
absurd,
God, yeah.
right? A couple years ago, I was out with Doc Schoenfeld, and one of his buddies brought two transferable MP5s. He had over $300,000 in that case in two guns.
You don't make it sound like it was like fancy by calling it just a piece of sheet metal that was folded over. Why is it so expensive?
Unobtainium,
Yeah.
Oh,
because once the prohibitions went into effect, you can't get them anymore.
Yep.
So only the existing ones at that point are transferable. You can't import anymore. You can't make anymore.
What else is she at SHOT Show?
What do you got, Preacher? What excites you besides the 338 ARC?
Oh, fuck. All the cocaine and crackhead designs that are coming out.
So the weird stuff, the Kel-Tec pistol.
Yeah, I love this thing. It may be a piece of shit, but I mean, there's a high probability it's a piece of shit. But I like the concept behind it. I like their reasoning for it, and I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun. I also like some of the prototypes that PSA is coming out with. Big surprise there. And there's some of the prototypes that I don't like coming
Sure.
from PSA. Two of them to vote on are chambered in 338 arc, which we know I think is ridiculous. But
The 338 try-hard, as
yeah,
we've started calling it.
yeah. I think that their design team is brilliant for pulling things out of the air, right? They're one of the options to vote on is a well rod recreation, which
We were talking about that earlier. I think that's a great idea. As much as people are jumping on board with suppressors and doing those things, I think you could manufacture that very inexpensively. You can get a can for it very inexpensively, and now you're hooked on a very simple, reliable system to get you into suppressed shooting.
Yeah.
Assuming they come in at the right price point, because
right. And that price
single
point has
shot
to
pistol
be...
like that, or a straight pull bolt action. I don't know how we even want to describe it, because it's got a magazine in it.
Mm-hmm. 8-round, 45.
Right. So it's a repeater in the sense that every time you cycle it, it's going to load another round. But yeah, if they made a 22 caliber well rod,
ooh,
that would feed anything, it's not going to care because of the action type.
Yep.
And a cheap suppressor, you could conceivably be into a suppressed pistol for under $600, including the tax stamp.
Yeah.
And I think that would be awesome.
The prototype that they put up there is in 45. So, you're automatically looking at a bigger can.
Right.
Right. But there's room for that. And one of the design on the well rod, or their well rod clone, is, I didn't really take note of it. It's basically a Ruger.
Well, like the Mark IV.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you think about it, if you have a suppressed Mark IV that's not cycling, what do? You pull on the back like a well rod.
Yep.
So, but no, I like the design. My 3 votes were for the bolt action based on a 700.
Mm-hmm.
Is it called the Switch? I think it's called the Switch. Yeah, the Switch, which is taking SIG's design and selling you a fire control unit with multiple chassis options for it, which, gives us the opportunity to get a poor man's flux, right?
Right.
And
I think you were excited about the shotgun.
Well, the shotgun's already in production.
Okay.
I'm not as excited about the semi-auto version of it. I like it. I think it's great that you're going to be able to build a semi-auto shotgun or a pump-action shotgun off the same receiver, swapping out some parts. I think the charging handle forward of the bolt is kind of interesting. It's non-reciprocating, so you don't got to worry about it cracking your knuckles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not as excited about that, right? In the semi-auto shotgun world, I don't think you can beat something like the Beretta Ultima A1 Patrol, right? Now, obviously, you're coming in at a price point significantly cheaper, hopefully.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean that's kind of PSA's bread and
yeah.
butter. It's like we're going to get you in at a price point you can tolerate. What was
The
the other
Jack.
pistol? The other pistol you were telling me about? Are they
Oh,
doing a double stack 1911?
they are doing a double stack 1911. Yeah, I'm not as excited about that because in on the, I guess again it depends on the price point, right?
Right.
But if you're talking about double stack 1911 that takes the staccato style mags, I don't know that you're gonna get better than the TSOS or the Bull Armory, right? For budget guns.
Right.
It almost feels like that's a little bit late to the market. You know, you throw in chamber or make it for Glock mags, you have less competition at that point, right? You're talking Platypus, and I think Bull Armory again makes one for Glock mags. So that's two companies versus how many companies are making 2011s at this point?
Right.
A good number. And then the other one I voted for was the Jackal 9mm. I like that.
Max, have you seen anything else you were excited about coming out of SHOT Show?
Honestly, no. I haven't really seen much. I did see a Rock Island. I don't know if it was 19 or 2011 that really caught my eye for a second, but I really just kind of scrolled past it because it, you know, I wasn't trying to get too much intel from it. I figured you guys would bring me the stuff that you knew I would like, and I would just leave it at that. And again, I'm not as into the realm of the mechanics of everything like you guys are, so I don't know what's inside these things that makes one better than the other than I judge all this shit by the outside. You know, that looks like it would fit my hand well, or that looks like a ray gun, or that looks like a weird bullpup with some oak wood around it from stuff and things. You know, it's just like I'm an aesthetics kind of guy.
Listen, that thing's been making the rounds on Instagram and the YouTube videos.
Everybody's video is
Yep.
talking about stuff and things. And again, this is the one. So, for the folks who've been listening for a while, we, on a previous episode, I showed you guys an image and we weren't allowed to talk about it at the time, but that was kind of our preview of what was coming. And I know Preacher got really excited for it, and it seems to have taken the internet by storm because everybody wants to take a picture with it. Everybody wants to talk to Ian about it. Ian is, as he described it, having a surreal moment because he's being approached by big celebrities in the industry that want to talk to him all of a sudden. And he's like, hold on. wait a minute. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're famous. Deal with it.
Well, listen, it hit that nerve, whatever that nerve is between design and appeal,
And
right?
oddity.
Yeah,
The
and
oddity
oddity.
is what catches the eye by like, wait, that, huh? And the longer you stare at it, the longer you make it make sense.
Right.
And
It's
then it's a
just weird enough
curiosity.
to be really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the question everybody asks, does it take lock bags? Yes, it does.
Well, and again, it's got a lot of appeal because so if you're into military stuff, it's kind of an oddball Russian gun, right? If you're into video games, it's been featured in some of the Call of Duty stuff, so people know it from that. If you just like weird shit, that's
It
appealing.
fits the bill.
If you're a fan of stuff and things, and they're kind of, we do what we like in this industry, whether anybody else likes it or not, we're going to do our thing. And if it catches on, great. If not, we're still having a good time. Like that devil may care attitude is part of what makes their stuff so fun. So yeah, congratulations to Ian and Will. We're very proud of you guys. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
The weird stuff is what is appealing right now. And the reason that the weird stuff is appealing right now is because what are you going to bring to SHOT Show? Another AR-15? Another
I think
AK-47?
we've hit saturation on a lot of that stuff, right?
Now this is,
Very different.
very different. Give stuff and things and Caltech and even PSA to a point, credit. They're coming out with new and random shit. The VOOC is the PSA VOOC is really an abomination. I think it's based off of an oddball Russian gun, but it's out there. But people like out there right now.
Yeah. So the other one that I want to shout out, because it is also a complete and total abomination, but if you have an AR chambered in 7.62 which of course is my original abomination, Middleton made, our friends over at Middleton and KAK have collaborated to make an AK style safety for your AR. So if you prefer that style, or you like, to me, again, it's kind of a novelty thing, right? And he's doing videos on it. He's like, look how much faster it is. I can do this, right? And he makes a compelling case for it. I hope it's successful. I hate it. But that's just me being a purist stuck in my ways. So, yeah, no, I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people.
You know what? Maybe we need to get one and test it out.
Yeah, well, of course, I'm going to buy one.
Yeah, we'll get one and test it out.
Support Middleton. Yeah, why not?
Here's one for you.
Okay.
And it's not oddball. Well, it kind of actually is oddball, but it's brilliant. The single M-lock clamp for AK-47s that go between the barrel and the gas tube. That thing is amazing. That solves so many problems for AK owners.
Yeah, they
so many
really nailed it, and it looks really good, and it's a super simple design that I think is going to do tremendously
really well.
We were talking about that. I need to order 3.
Yeah,
like right off the bat, I need 3.
I'll order an extra one because I need one.
There you go.
Actually, order me 2.
Max, how about the folding EDC Tomahawk?
Okay, yeah, that did catch my eye, and I sent it to you guys because I wanted to see was that too far for your standards. It's got a belt clip, so I'm automatically in. You know, it's got a belt clip. It looks pretty damn cool. I don't know about the legality in my current state, but if I can have it, I would definitely carry it.
I don't think there's anything against it.
I don't think they've thought to prohibit a pocket tomahawk.
Okay.
Jesus God.
Price plus shipping, please. Like Preacher said, order 2 because he wants one too.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't want to be the test case, but you know, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
It caught my eye. It definitely did.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the performance. It's an interesting design for sure. It's not what I would call a folding tomahawk. It's almost like a butterfly tomahawk.
Yeah,
it's got kind of
it's like a scissor almost.
Yeah,
like
it's a funky
scissor.
action. So some clever engineering went into that for sure. What I want to see is how well it stands up to actually chopping with it. Now you've got hinges in high stress areas on a chopping tool.
And no vibration suppression whatsoever. Like there's no handle on it. So if anybody ever played Little League and they didn't hold the bat properly, and this is if you guys remember the old Looney Tunes cartoons where the entire body just starts vibrating, moving away from you. Yeah, I'm curious if obviously this is not for like big chopping. Maybe it's just for like whittling, you know, or maybe just a quick toss at something. But I'm curious.
Or maybe it's a fighting tool.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's not really meant for chopping wood. Maybe it's meant for chopping something softer.
Yeah. Surface wounds. We'll leave it at that for quick deployment. But it caught my eye.
Yeah, it is neat, and the engineering behind it is interesting. That always piques my interest.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the new Magpul knife that is metal injection molded?
We don't care. Let me tell you something. We don't care.
I don't care.
Okay,
that's my official opinion. I care so little I didn't even look at it. I saw Magpul had a knife and I scrolled right past it.
It is not a forged or ground knife. It comes out of a mold, the blade.
We do not care.
Okay, still don't care.
Just
good for you, Magpul. Hope it does well. I'm positive the fanboys will buy plenty of them just because it has the logo.
To me, like, I get they're saying it's just as strong and everything else. I have a hard time, and this is one of those things where there's a good chance I'll eat my words on it, but I have a hard time believing that something that's powder injected and then released from a mold is as strong as steel that's been rolled, hammered, ground, and shaped.
I have no idea, nor do I care. But I'm sure my friend Ryan Cross has 2 on order already.
Well, then he can test them.
Yep.
Some hard use test case. I want to know if it turns to powder again.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, ladies and gentlemen. We return for what whence we came.
I mean, everything will if you're rough enough with it, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's very true.
all right. Should we, well, I know, Max, are you printing anything this week in your frozen
No, it's too
tundra?
cold. It's too
Doing
cold.
your Hoth impersonation in the garage there?
It's way too cold to print anything in this room. There's nothing I can even do.
So,
Does
last
the cold
episode,
affect? Go ahead.
the cold definitely affects your prints.
Yeah.
Does it affect the filament though? Like, are you
Absolutely.
going to have problems with the filament after the cold snap's gone?
No.
Once
Okay.
the temperature rises back up, it kind of goes back to normal, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Again,
just the current
humidity
state.
is more the issue, and what that is going to do to the filament. You may have to dry your stuff after temperature changes like that. But yeah, and I'm only talking PLA because that's what we use most. But
Right.
so a couple weeks ago we recorded and I was having problems. I had my first failed print in a while, and that was on a marble run for the boys, and tuned the machine, got everything going, printed a couple other things in between that came out fine. Went to print that marble run again and had the exact same problem at the exact same spot after, and it wasn't, it wasn't that height, so I don't think it was anything going on with my Z movement, but I think I had a glitch in the file that was causing a layer shift because it was identical to what the other one did, and that was with a bunch of things printed in between that had 0 problems.
Is it the same G code?
It was. So I
Yeah,
scrapped
maybe
that
it is
one.
that.
I pulled a different model and printed that one, and some, I think I got 8mm bearings, steel ball bearings to use as the marbles in the marble run, and it came out really cool. But I did that on the Coex 3D silver filament,
Ooh.
and it looks really sharp. Yeah. So, again, all part of the conversation, but I found Coex 3D. They're a U.S. filament manufacturer. We have an affiliate link for them in the network. So they're pretty cool. And I thought it was funny because I ordered some filament from them, and when I opened up the box, there was my filament, one of their stickers, because they know their audience. We love stickers. And one random Twizzler, like the little pre-wrapped Halloween Twizzlers. Like, here's a little something extra for you, pal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You should get like the giant Twizzler pack and send it back to him with some more stickers.
That's not a bad idea.
You know,
It's not a bad idea.
See if you can
Yeah.
keep it back and forth and see what they'll send you next.
Sure.
You know, maybe we'll get one of those giant gummy worms. You ever see those from like it's this place? So in Atlantic City, and I forgot what the other one was, but it's this place called It's Sugar, Coney Island. It's actually right next to Nathan's. It's like a sugar, it's like a big ass candy store, and for all intents, purposes, and lack of a better term, they make gummy worms the size of double-fisted dildos. They're fucking.
Oh my God.
They're like that thick. Where's the camera? There's like that thick, and like that long. You know what I mean? And it's just like you're supposed to sit there and just kind of slowly gnarl at it. I'll just leave that space there for sound effects. And yeah, and there's just a giant ass, obviously they just use the big mold as opposed to little tiny mold. But send them one of those back and see what they do with it.
Right. They also, so watching their videos, they're kind of fun because they're Instagram is a lot of stuff that they're just doing in their own shop, right? So they're showing you the filaments, they're showing you the different colors, they're showing you the products, but they also obviously print a lot of stuff, and they're big football fans, so there's a lot of football stuff and some Star Wars stuff. But they also 3D printed the biggest Flexi Dragon I have ever seen. Like the head on the thing was massive, and it's up on the wall above other stuff and goes around the corner of the wall, and the tail comes up over the door. The thing's got to be like 8 feet long.
That's what she said.
That's my joke. Damn it, Dwight.
And 18 inches wide. It was huge.
That's insane.
That's
It
one
was
of those
pretty
infinite
cool.
bed kind of prints, where it's like it just prints out on a treadmill, and the treadmill just takes it away as it keeps going.
Right? Or one of these newer, like really, really big machines. But yeah, it was pretty neat. So they're pretty cool. Their filament's really good. I tried out their black chrome filament, which is kind of neat. I want to call them because I didn't get a real shiny finish on it, and see if maybe they can help me tweak the settings and get it real pretty. But the color is interesting because it's not really black. It's not dark gray. It's something in between. And it's got I don't know how to describe it, like a depth to it. It's not like there's a secondary color to it, but it's definitely got an effect that's interesting.
Is it almost like that black that like is the darkest black
That
ever
Vanta
created?
black? No, it's
Okay.
not yet. It's not super dark like that either. I don't have the words to describe it. It's really interesting. But if you've used like a silk filament that's got some shine to it, sometimes you'll notice you get like a secondary hue in that color, even though it's a single color.
Right.
And that's what I'm getting with this. It's really neat to look at. I'll have to print something off small and
it's
pass it off to you guys.
You're not
so you
seeing
can
that
see it.
same color on the spool. It's only on the print itself, like after it runs through
No,
the
the
machine.
spool looks like a shiny, really, really dark gray, not quite black.
Okay.
It's like a step off from black. It's hard to explain. It's really neat though. And I'm digging that. So I got to come up with some cooler things to print in that, and then like I said, reach out to them and see if they can help me tweak my settings and get the best finish out of it. But that was pretty cool. The other thing I did, so it's been a lot of stuff for the boys, but I did find a different Marble Run model that kept the kids busy for hours. They were super excited about that. There's a Veroni screw in the middle that, as you turn, acts as an elevator for the ball bearings and then feeds them back into the multiple tracks on it. And then, speaking of tracks, we made this little guy. It's a fidget spinner, print in place, that's tank treads.
Nice.
And this sucker was hard to do too, because it's all print in place, it's all one part, and if your level is off by a hair, nothing works.
You have to snap it loose.
Yep, you got to break everything loose, but it's two wheels that print in place on the axles on the mount, and then the tracks are articulated. So you've got all these individual pieces and pins and all these things. And my tracks came out good, but because the wheels are so tight on the axle, if you're not perfectly dialed in, they're not going to break free. And the first few I printed, I had just a little bit of an elephant's foot. So right at the build plate, it was kind of mushing out.
Yeah.
And that made it touch the other part and then couldn't get broken free. Yeah, it was, but this was a challenging one. So I did this in this size. I don't have the other one I did at 150%, but it goes from, little guy to like this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that's been
Nice.
exciting. And then shout out to brother Thomas. Ran into him in the shop today and he needed some of the door stops.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm running a batch of door stops for Thomas.
With the PLU?
No, I'm not doing the TPU,
TPU.
the rubbery stuff.
Right.
He wants the ones the hard plastic that you jam under
Oh,
the
he
door.
wants
So
the
I'm
feet,
just doing those
the one
in
on the
PLA.
bottom, not the C's that we do.
The one you found, the tactical,
Yeah.
low profile
Molly one.
operator door stop. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I gave him one of the TPU. I guess we got to differentiate, not the door wedge, but what I call a door stop. To stop it from fully closing.
Yeah.
And clip on it. As seen
I
on
call it a
Instagram.
grabber or a clamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I don't know. I still need to really just move on to the third printer that's still in the box in the garage.
Your Elegoo Neptune 4 Pro, high speed,
Yeah.
fabulous. Yeah, I'm dual wielding those things at this point, and I love them.
Yeah.
Again, there's an affiliate code and a coupon in the network for members if they're interested in that. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about that. If you're looking for what I would call at this point a beginner FDM printer, so working off a filament, not the resin, and you want high speed and you're only printing one color, you can't beat it because it's just over $200 right now.
It's a goddamn shame that I haven't even used it for the price that we got it for.
Yeah.
It's
And then you get the coupon code on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Up to 500 millimeters a second. But realistically, I'm only doing about 250 on most of the stuff I print, sometimes a little bit slower if I need better quality.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great machine. I could not be happier with it. I know there's fancier machines out there with the Bamboo Labs with the AMS units and printing multiple colors and all those things. But boy, did we get hit with a downside to that line of printers this week, didn't we?
Well, in today's "I Told You So" fucking segment of the show, we told y'all. You let the internet have your fucking unit, and then they'll start stopping you from doing shit. Yeah, good job, Bamboo. You're
Preacher, hit us. What was the official announcement? It was a firmware update. Is that what it was?
I believe it was a firmware update, and it was just if it's connected to the internet, man, it's going to send all your print data back to Bamboo Labs.
And from what I understand, they go so far as to they can interrupt your print and stop it if they don't agree with what you're printing.
Right.
For all our friends that are 3D printing 2A related items of various types.
Throw into that their rumor is that their developers all came from DJI, which has some sketchy ties.
Hit the music.
There we go. It's not unexpected.
It's all connected. It's all Chinese spyware, and the U.S. government will not allow Chinese spyware instead of U.S. spyware.
Yeah, we want our own spyware, man.
We called it. I'm just gonna pat myself on the back right now. We called it. We seriously.
Speaking of spyware,
yeah, I take no pleasure in being right about these things, to be really honest with you.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the Wild West of 3D printing at this point, and I'd much prefer not having anybody interfere with that.
Don't hook your printers up to the internet.
Yeah.
Just don't.
So again, just spoke with a mutual friend of all of ours and was asking him about it. And he goes, yeah, mine's connected to my LAN network, has no direct internet connection, and everything is done via a thumb drive. So that machine has no idea that it's supposed to be spying on me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're on the topic of spyware. Can we just take a moment to laugh at all the people who think the government shut down TikTok for
14 hours?
12, 14 hours. The standard time that it takes a company to do updates or
a changeover
of some sort. Yeah. There was nothing the government did. Sorry, folks. Even the people who tend to be on the right-leaning side of things got it all wrong. Everybody blamed our government for this one, and
wait.
There was no
preacher saying it's not a conspiracy. They got to him.
Traitor!
God damn it! Him and Alex Jones. They came out with a new batch of clones. You and Alex Jones. You and thin Alex Jones. They got you both. God damn it! We can't have nice things. They can't have nice things. That's it.
This one, no.
Is that the real preacher, or is it just AI?
His hair is darker than last time. I did notice.
Is it a deep fake preacher?
No, it's not. Look, AI would never be able to get my fingers right.
That's exactly what an AI would be programmed to say.
And those fingers look like they're AI, so.
Damn.
You're not helping your case, but
I know. I'll stop now.
for those listening at home who are unaware, Preacher is an amputee.
So yes, they look like AI hands.
Right.
No, I just think it's funny that the one time everybody's like, it's a government conspiracy. It's actually not.
It actually wasn't.
There's plenty of others out there that are, and you can go hog wild with them, but this one, yeah, wasn't.
So what
And
was it then?
It was just a changeover.
Update, changeover. I've seen a couple different things.
I can tell you with absolute certainty that it was just a changeover.
There you go.
Changeover
Because
of
I was
what?
Because I was in the building, an equipment changeover. So they were migrating from
Server maintenance.
a
then.
set of servers. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
all. Yeah,
Because
it had
GameStop
nothing
is
to do with anything else.
currently buying people's phones that already have the TikTok app installed, I guess because they got delisted from the Apple Store or something. So that's been
Right.
floating around. Yeah. Good job for those that sold their phones like so quickly. Good job. Just for TikTok, guys.
Or for the millions of people that downloaded Red Note or whatever it's called. Good job.
The other communist platform. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, we just got to call it
Although-
Red Note.
Americans be Americaning
Yeah.
and teaching Chinese people on Red Note how to build guns. The
didn't they all
greatest,
get, like,
most
banned?
American thing you could possibly do.
There was like a
Yep.
large number of like, yeah, it's our first video. We're already banned. Sorry, guys. They don't play that American stupidity.
What else you got this week, Max?
Well, I put up in the network a simple question about headgear. You know, I see a lot of tactical bros out with the skater helmets on with nods attached to it, and I posed a question to the network like, how practical is it to have headgear, as in like a helmet or, I guess a helmet's the best way to describe it. Do anybody in the network have it? You know, obviously putting nods on them, that makes sense. I've seen them with ear pros attached to them. Is it something that a quote-unquote prepared person should have as part of their loadout or their kit or their gear? You know, pros and cons and stuff. And I wanted to hear some feedback from people to see if it's something that I should have. You know, I got a big-ass head. I have a 2 or 3 XL size motorcycle helmet that the guy had to go into the back of the store and fish around and it's not because of my hair. It's literally just the size of my brain. It's just filled with 80s references to where I have a mega mind. And I'll just put that visual into your mind. So, you know, I'm curious if that's something that, you know, how everybody feels about headgear.
Yes
Need
and no.
max headroom. Yeah.
That was a good one. See, I like how you did that
Thank you.
there, sir. That was applause worthy. Good for you.
I think that's a yes and a no, right? Like
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Great answer.
you don't
let's-
you
but-
don't
but
need it
let's-
now, but
let's
if
hit the
you
pros
do
and
need
cons.
it, you really need it.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is the other thing that I think is misunderstood by a lot of people when they see ballistic helmet. They go, great, it's meant for warfare. It stops everything. False. It's 3A rated. It's really just for shrapnel and bumping your head. It is not going to stop a rifle round. Most rifle rounds are going to penetrate that helmet with no problem.
I mean,
Unless
it
you're getting
could.
into
It
some
could
other
stop
stuff.
it. You know, you get the multi-aramid layers and the new plastic ones.
Let's
They
be
will
honest. The front of the helmet might not stop it, but the back of the helmet might.
Yeah.
The problem
Or-
is your head was in the path of the bullet.
Oh, I was about to say,
Exactly.
wait,
and it
what?
went through the front and stopped at the back and went happily through your head.
Deformation's the son of a bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't just check
Like
in,
if
don't
it
check
if
out.
it stops it, yeah, it just may cave your head in instead of penetrating. Like it.
All right, so let's start with pros. Like mounting your gear to it, sure. You got nods, you got, you know, ear pro, maybe a UV light so you could be, you know, not blown up by the drone that's watching you.
Right, right. And then you need the counterweight on the back of it to balance the nods.
Which is a battery pack to
or
keep the
battery
nods
pack
running.
To keep the nods running, or just the counterweight. We're going to add ear pro to that. We're going to add all the cool guy, high speed, low drag tactical gear. And now you're wearing a 22-pound helmet on your head. Anybody who has served is probably going to tell you that shit sucks. somehow I really honestly believe this is one of the things that civilians saw and thought was cool because they didn't have to wear it for, days in and days out.
Right.
And they go wear it at the range for a couple of hours while they're taking a class or doing whatever, and don't really understand that if you're wearing that a lot, it sucks.
I still have mine. I still have my PSGAT. Give you an idea how old I am.
Right.
But you know what? It has sat in a box in the bottom of the basement for decades at this point. I'm not pulling that thing out.
Well, here's the other thing. What's the expiration date?
Yeah, that was
Because
my
all
next
that
question.
stuff has an expiration
Yeah,
too.
it's
break down
long
the hard hat.
expired. Yeah.
Right.
You're supposed to get a new hard hat every 5 years, I believe, due to possible plastic breakdown. There's like a little
Right.
dial in the little brim that you're supposed to check as a date. I would assume now
I think they're 10 years,
okay.
something like that. Because that's really the rotation of the helmets, right? You went from the PSGAT to the Mitch, to the cut Mitches, to the most of the GWAT ones were cut Mitches or Mitches, and after that you got your it's on almost on a 10-year basis. A new type of helmet comes out, so they're not just making the same helmet. Well, they kind of are, right? The newer helmets come out of the same molds that the old PSGATs did. They're just trimmed differently at the factory.
Right. Yeah. So, generally speaking, I don't see a need for it. Right. With
If you want
said,
to put nods on, you'd be better off with a ProTech helmet
yeah.
or a bump helmet, right? Just get a bump helmet, and you can get an airsoft bump helmet, and it'll hold your nods just fine
Right.
if that's what you're using it for.
Nods don't normally come with like a strap in case you don't have a
You
helmet.
don't want to put those on like that.
That's that's a medieval torture device too. I had a couple sets of night vision that use those, and yeah, it's misery. Like you can do it, but
'Cause
you
of the
don't
weight?
want to.
No, you want it on a helmet.
The weight
And-
and the fact that to keep it on your head, so it's usually a headband, right?
Right.
That's all adjustable. You've got the panel that the ocular is mounted on,
Right.
and then there's usually a chin strap with a chin cup. So to
Right.
get that tight to the point where it's not going to move around as you're engaged in physical activities, now your jaw can't move and you're talking like this because you had to cinch everything down. So it sucks.
Instant headache too.
Yeah.
Because it's all compressed on your head now.
Yep.
There's the case for the helmet, right? If you're gonna have nods or something like that, yeah, put a helmet on. Just realize that it's a bump helmet, not
A ballistic.
a bulletproof. Well, even a ballistic's not a bulletproof helmet, right? Like,
Well, and
it's-
again, my response to that thread in the network was I remember when ProTech skateboard helmets were the coolest cool guy gear out there, right? And posted a picture of, I want to say, late 80s, early 90s era SEALs doing boarding exercises on a ship. And they were all in green flight suits and black ProTech helmets with their MP5s
and black soft armor.
and black soft armor. That might not have even been armor. That might have just been maybe. I'm not even sure.
It looked like a vest to me. It
Yeah,
looked like
it's-
vests to me.
It was a vest, but it may have just been load bearing and not necessarily
yeah.
ballistic. That's the other
That's
thing.
true.
Good to know.
Yeah, because back then they were still issuing us flak jackets.
Right. So I think there's pros and cons to it that you have to weigh very heavily. A good helmet is not cheap. You know, you're
And a
talking-
cheap helmet is not good.
Right, right. cheap helmets are for cheap heads. So and for you, Max, getting into the fact that you do have a bigger head,
Right.
that price is going to go up exponentially to get something big enough for your dome piece.
Just to carry nods in the battery pack.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas, if you want some sort of night vision, maybe a thermal monocular would be a better option. You could stick that on a lanyard around your neck.
True.
Now, if you are doing a bunch of strenuous activity outside in the dark, even those binoculars have mounts that you can put onto your standard night vision goggle receptacle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the triangle piece is called.
Yeah, but it's a matter of you can mount it on the helmet if you want to. But is a ballistically rated helmet really better for the average prepper over a bump helmet? And I think my answer at that point is no.
I think my answer is it depends. It depends on what you're prepping for.
Right.
Your preparations determine the level of need for something like that. If you're planning to go out and save the world when everything comes crumbling down, well, yeah, maybe you want a ballistic helmet. It'll be a good loop drop for somebody.
I can definitely see
If
that.
you're planning on hunkering down and working with people that are around you, maybe not. Was there any topics from the network to go over tonight?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
There's a lot of little quickies here and there. A couple of people making jokes, posting things. Shout out to Nick Wong, our member who's at SHOT Show right now, working on his YouTube channel, and always makes the very generous offer to go hunt down anything we want him to check out and get hands on and give us feedback on, because
I gave him a list.
Me to go. Yeah, I know, but you can't convince me to go to SHOT Show, so no thank you. And we all had a good laugh at the people of SHOT Show bingo card. Between the jazzy scooter that blocks everybody, the guy with the crate that's just there to collect swag. And my whole thing is, I own a business. I would love to have an opportunity to go to something like that, to see new products and talk to manufacturers and place orders for the year and do all the things that SHOT Show is really for. Unfortunately, it has become, I have 5 followers on YouTube, so now I'm a media person and I'm going to SHOT Show.
Hey, wait a minute. I think you're making fun of me.
And there's a million of them versus maybe, a few thousand that are trying to really conduct business.
Content farming.
Right. Dorks that take 2 of their friends and start a lousy podcast and think that entitles them to go to SHOT Show.
That one hurt a little bit.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out the sponsors we mentioned earlier. Check out the website, blackbagresources.com. And if you really want to go deep and join the community, check out the Black Bag Resources Network. Thanks for listening.